is to march from Khorasan, then I want to point out to you that three countries that are pivotally important for the army to march from Khorasan. They are Iran, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. The Islamic republics on the north of Afghanistan are not that important. Yes, they are a part of Khorasan. These three countries must be free for the army to march. Is Iran free? Yes. After a million Iranians were killed, became shuhada, they gave their lives, but they broke the back of the modern Western grip on Iran. So Iran is a free country today. Is Afghanistan free? I was lecturing in Islamabad on the very day that the puppet Iran Afghanistan government was fleeing to, I don't know, Qatar or somewhere. Lock, stock and barrel. And everything that the West had done in Afghanistan crumbled on that day. Afghanistan is free. So what about Pakistan? From the day that Pakistan was born to this day, Pakistan has never been free. Tell that to the Yankee puppy dogs who are generals in the Pakistan armed forces. When I speak like this, the implication is I can't visit Pakistan anymore. Yes, I can't visit Pakistan anymore. They do a khashoggi on me. So I have to stay outside of Pakistan to point out. If you want to free Pakistan from the grip, the shackles of the modern West, so that Pakistan can join with Afghanistan and Iran for the army to march to liberate Gaza and liberate Jerusalem, then you have to break the power of the Pakistan armed forces, not the ordinary soldiers who have their hearts in the right place, but the generals who I call Yankee puppy dogs. How will Pakistan be able to do that? I suggested last night, you have to launch a struggle of peaceful resistance against oppression. And the most important oppression that you're going to be resisting is not political oppression, but economic oppression. And in economic oppression, your priority is monetary oppression. Because you want to bring back real money in the market. And when real money comes into the market, fake money will collapse. And dinar and dirham is real money. This is the way forward, and I spoke enough just to whet your appetite on the subject of the response of the Muslim world to the genocide in Gaza. And now we turn to Ken, who will speak to you on the world politics and how he responds to events holding in Gaza and what is the state of Gaza today. Thank you.
I love listening to you. I really do. Reading the Quran, you know, I know there's wisdom there. If anybody said it, but with you saying it, that for me it becomes divine, and I will make that concerted effort to heighten my knowledge and understanding. Thank you. Money. We've ended that with, wow, I mean, money in the financial system being the key to the one remaining of the three nations required to march this army. And boy, that just hits the nail on the head for me, geopolitically. I can use some truths that are easily verifiable, but they would be qualified as, quote, anti-Semitic if you say them. Like the symbol on this mother's cross on my neck. This is the Orwellian 1984 world we live in, but 0.2% of the human population has such an extraordinary and disproportionate amount of control. You're not allowed to say that, are you? Let's look at this disproportionate amount of control. Now there is more than one element to this grip on power they have, but there is one thing above all others, if you ask me. And I think it's very much in line with what Jesus taught, where he got upset, and what Islam teaches, and yet we all violate this. Usury. Usury. This is haram. In my opinion, that is the worst crime of all. Now, who is exercising this criminal activity more than anybody else? And is this group, according to their own ideologies, allowed to practice usury against their own tribe? It's not a religion. It's a bloodline thing. How many atheist Jews do we have? I'm sorry. Is there any atheist Muslims in the audience? Any atheist Christians out there? No, but we got Netanyahu and others who call themselves Jews, and they're invoking God, yet they don't even believe in God. How convenient is that? You would need a whole lot of money to get a whole lot of prostitutes posing as journalists to be able to tout this lie and repeat the lie over and over to get a bunch of people, and I love the way the Sheikh refers to it. If I was speaking to a Western secular audience, I could use words that I ain't using here. For these people, you would need something to be able to overshadow truth and critical thinking. And basically, it's just as simple as repeating a lie over and over and over and over. And then again, some basic core things like, you call yourself a Muslim. I'm sorry. By the way, I'm the guy without any credit. I have no credit. I don't know what my credit score would be, but it would be basically in the tank. I don't like it. I ain't playing that game, but I also have no debt, by the way. I don't know how many of you can say that, but I have no debt. I have no car payment. I have none of that. So in many ways, I'm richer financially than those of you who are driving beautiful cars and have nice houses with mortgages. And I pass no judgment. I'm simply saying this game of usury is the game that's being used. And as the Sheikh said, and I definitely, in my own way, want to emphasize that, there are ways for us to institute sound financial policy. And I'm going to give you just a little bit of that because it actually, I'm getting into Gaza. This is a good foundation to lay down before we get into Gaza because it explains so much. Which, by the way, the Palestinians are using shekels, not Palestinian money. Why would you use the money of your oppressor, earning them interest in money for your own oppression? I look forward to the Palestinians who put that forward, kind of like Kennedy did for my country. You guys remember what happened to Kennedy? Yeah, what happened to him. And everyone else who crossed that system. Here's where I ventured into the anti-Semite thing, which really got me kind of shutting up about Gaza because it was angering me, to be honest. Are acting in Gaza and comparing them to quote-unquote Nazis. I know for a fact, regardless of how wise any of you may be, just by even mentioning that word, that you will have an implanted, anchored memory that says bad, Nazi, bad. Kind of like terrorist, Palestinian, same thing. That's been implanted, mind control into you, so that the moment you even say that word, Nazi, 6 million Palestinians. No conversation required. That's it.
What's going on, guys? I just came here to film brother Ken, and I can't really. Someone said to change the Quran or whatever. I don't know nothing about all of that stuff. I'm just here to film. I don't even. That's it. So I'm gonna have to look into this. Whoever said that. Hussain has been refuted by Ali DAWAH. I didn't know that. Subhanallah. I didn't know none of that stuff. I gave commitment now. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna film and then just what do you call it? Al-Dawah is not a good proof. Look, I have to do my research. Like I said, like the Quran says, do your research. I don't know who you people are in the comments, but I'm Quran and Sunnah. I just came here to do a brother. I just know Ken was here. That's it. He's gonna speak on Palestine, and I didn't even look at the poster or anything like that. When I came here, I found out. So I don't know anything about all of that stuff, but I'm just gonna carry on filming, and then if I'm gonna take it off or whatever, let's see. So let's see, inshallah. Let me go back in. Anyone watching, forgive me. I don't know. I've been out the loop. I have lack of knowledge. So, you know, sunglasses in my car, man. It's not sunny, bro. So I'm just gonna go in. I can't really talk. You got connections with Al-Dawah. He can tell you about him after this. No problem. Okay, no problem. As soon as I saw change the Quran and all that, you guys scared the hell out of me. So that's why I came out. So I'm not with all that stuff. Al-Dawah said Imran is a munafiq, basically. Subhanallah, I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna, after this event, I'm gonna phone them up. And these days, getting through to them is difficult as well because they're so busy. But I will, inshallah, phone them up and let's see. Because as you guys, I don't know if you guys know, my father passed away. I've been at the loop, been proper down, depressed, and stuff. I'm mainly active on my personal channel, as this is the Dawah channel. I've changed the channel name called Saeed Reacts, R-E-A. You know how you spell reacts? I just put an X on it before the T. So check it out there. I was there since day one. Okay, no problem. All right. Oh, you as well.
I've
A lot of people in the comments saying, did the Sheikh say the Quran, he changed the Quran? Like, and all
No.
that? Huh?
It's
Look.
the way the Quran's written down.
Hold on. So Sheikh never said that, yeah?
So Sheikh, you need to understand and read his books, understand his lectures, and not cherry pick on what exactly said. That's the truth. What people do is take things out of content. You need
Context.
To, we need to get everything together.
Yeah.
Collaborate the data.
Yeah.
And then talk about it.
All right, because I didn't know, because a lot of people saying, how are you filming him, this, that, the other. I said, look, I'm here to help a brother.
Yeah, that's
to
fine.
film,
That's
yeah.
fine. People can have your views. You can be happy, and you can stick to your imam.
Al-Dawah said Imran is a munafiq. You know what? I'm going to phone him up.
No. Oh, Al-Dawah, remember one thing, bro. If you call other people munafiq, remember you're
Al-Dawah
cursing.
didn't. Someone is saying Al-Dawah apparently said it.
No, well, Al-Dawah carrying it. But remember one thing, you're cursing the creation of Allah. Oh, who are you doing? Look, today, the Sunnis, we were brought up, like myself, brought up to hate Shias. Today, what's happening in South Lebanon? The Shias and Sunni together are fighting the Zionists. Together. Now, where's your mouths? Now, where's your big mouths? Ask them, where are they now? Where are you now? Where's your Shia hating now when they're shooting people for the Muslims, for the Sunnis? Look, Imran is saying this, some other comments. We can't stop you. We can't. You cannot stop people barking. That's the truth. If
I get that. You know what, bro? Like,
when you're sinner, you should worry about your own sins. Wallahi, you should worry about your own sins.
You know, Shia and stuff like that. Bro, I've seen some hate from them. Do you understand?
But bro, you think Shia hate?
Yeah.
You should see the kuffar. You should, from the start of history, whenever Islam was born, and whenever Adam alayhi salam, Isa alayhi salam,
Yeah.
they're all attacked. They're all Muslims.
I
Yeah?
gave you my word, so I'm just going to film.
You do what's right, which is you push out the truth. And now today, ask them, like, ask the brothers here, how often do they get together with non-Muslim and stand up with Gaza? But if you look around the world, who's standing up for Gaza? The non-Muslims. Where's your leaders? Where's your leaders? Where's Iran? Ask them.
Yeah, subhanallah. Be careful of these people. Look, I'm just here to film. I'm going to look into this. I'm not with all this unity, ikhwani business and all that stuff. So my view is my view. But anyway, look, I gave someone my word, man, and I'm just here to film this. Then I'll decide. I'm gonna go home and look into this, guys. So that's why I came out to inform everyone. Investigated, brother. Ali will tell himself. Okay, inshallah. Inshallah.
Rescue workers coming to go and try and rescue those buried under the rubble, being shot at. Food being brought in like bait for a fish. And in the moment all the starving people come to get the food, they're being bombed. Now what kind of mentality would allow for this? You have to be demonic. You have to be absolutely inhuman. You must have not even an ounce of humanity in you if you are capable of, well, that explains what we're dealing with. There is zero humanity. Worse yet, they have a deity. They do. Oh yes, they do. We may use a different term as Christians, but it's the same thing. For us, Satan. Satan. And the fact that we can't get into the mind of a psychopath, sociopath, narcissistic, sadistic, you need to comprehend this. Sun Tzu, The Art of War, you could read that book in a day. I highly recommend it. Get into the mind of your enemy. You must understand the mind of your enemy. They worship the antithesis of God. When a child, Epstein-esque style, is being raped on videotape by our corrupt leaders, how does Satan feel about that? He loves it. He loves it. So if you ever saw your child walking for the first time and smiling, how did that make you feel? Did that make you feel something special inside? Well, Satan hates that. He'd rather see your baby, instead of walking, blown to bits. This is a wild, crazy mentality. But you need to understand it in order to understand what the Palestinians are facing. God took me to Palestine. I didn't really know much of anything about Palestine when I traveled there 21 years ago, when I traveled to the West Bank. I just knew I needed to go there. I knew it's whatever, divine intuition, whatever you want to call it. I knew I needed to go. And I went. And I started in the West Bank, Allenby Bridge through Jordan. And I traveled there. At that point, it's ironic, because I'd just done the Human Shield actually to Iraq. So I was on BBC Hard Talk, CNN, Fox, you name it, I was on all of it. So it's not like they didn't know who I am. You guys know who I am, but for whatever reason, I made it into the West Bank. I lived in the West Bank. I traveled through the West Bank, through the checkpoints, watching the lines for the Palestinians, and then my line as a Westerner, and I watched all the indignities. I was blown away by the humanity within these people. Like, how do you manage to maintain your humanity in the face of such grotesque inhumanity? It inspired me then, it inspires me now, and I've said it over and over. If I was born Palestinian, I don't have that nobility. I would be fighting, boy. You could not pay me to be nonviolent. No way, no way. So I watched this, and then I went to Israel. I actually went to Israel. I did. Even now I find it hard to believe that I was in there, but I did, and I went and I traveled and I met people, and I had the opposite experience. It's kind of like the English and the Irish. The English are known for being mean. You know, in America we call it, selfish, non-giving. Like, they don't really know, like really. The Irish are the opposite. They will give you the shirt off their back. I remember I was sitting outside a pub having a cigarette, doing all those things you shouldn't do as a Muslim, but nonetheless I was there, and there was a homeless guy, and I was talking, and there was a proper Irishman there, and the guy, who was like Eastern European, he didn't say he was homeless yet, and the question came up, where are you staying tonight? And he started saying how he had no place to go, and immediately the Irishman, oh, you wouldn't be here any of that now, you'll be coming home with me, like literally, just met this man on the street, he's inviting him back to his home. Good luck finding an Englishman who's going to do that for you, I tell you. So it's the same type of thing in Palestine. What I saw in Palestine, and that's what did they tell you about Palestine? Don't go to the West Bank, it's dangerous and all that. Not just for Muslims, but for Christians. Oh my God, you're tempting death. They will do. It's the opposite. It's the opposite. If you go there, you will be changed. You will grow. You will develop a bond with these people. That's why they don't want you to go there. They don't want you to see that. So, where are we now with this? There is something beautiful out of all of this horrendousness. Does that kind of sound even shocking to hear? Like, what is beautiful about what we're seeing? What is beautiful about children? I mean, I think everybody here to some degree has done it. I've been watching, I'm a hard man, I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot. I've been through a lot, I've seen a lot. I've been in war zones as an active participant in combat. I've seen death, I've seen stuff. I'm a hard man. But I have found myself crying more than once, just looking at these children and the parents, and just, I remember watching a video just the other day. It was this young girl. She was probably maybe 8, 9, and one of tens of thousands at this point. It was just this one. All it was footage of her. She was clearly in the hospital. She had marks all over her face, clearly from flying debris, shrapnel, or whatever. And she was in those blankets to try and keep you warm, those silver ones that retain the heat. And she's shivering, and she's looking, and she's there, but she's not there. She's alive, but part of her soul is gone, or at least temporarily suspended. God, being so beautiful, he sort of suspends consciousness a bit, kind of takes you into a zombie state for your own self-preservation, because the reality of what you are confronting is so ugly that just even the adrenaline and the heart rate and the stress and the trauma can kill you. I know as a Marine, if we came up on somebody who was injured, it was a 4-step process. Start the breathing, stop the bleeding, protect the wound, treat for shock. If you're not breathing, that's number one. I don't care if you have an open wound. If you're not breathing, don't worry, the heart will stop, the blood will stop too. You need to get that person breathing, first thing. Once you have that established, so the first thing you should be doing is checking that airway. Are they breathing or are they not? Once you got them breathing, then you have to stop the bleeding. Obviously, if you bleed out, you're going to die. Halal and kosher slaughter, that's the way it works, right? Come on, you're going to bleed out, you're going to die. You got to get that wound covered and stop that bleeding, a tourniquet if necessary. Protect the wound. In Gaza right now, taking it into the current conflict, do you know how impossible it is to keep a wound protected in this environment? How many children and others are having amputations without anesthetic? Can you imagine not only the flesh being cut, but the bone being sawed through? For a child, this is what they're doing there. And then how do you dress that wound? I remember when I was in Gaza, I have a video up on Twitter or whatever, Israel's latest war crime, I called it. I had a job when I was in Gaza, and my job was to tell the truth. I did not do this for money, by the way. It was all about serving truth and God in my own way. So I lived there and I reported from there. And I had a deal with a taxi driver, and my deal was, as soon as there's a bombing, boom, come pick me up. Pick me up, we're going to wherever it is. So it was one of those nights, and they bombed. And so he came, he picked me up, we got to the site. What was it? When I got there and asked, what is this site? Medical supplies is what it was. Medical supplies. So this is where I wanted to prove it, They've got water and hoses, and they're trying to clear out some debris with a bulldozer that's burning so they can get that out of there. And I literally go into the building that's on fire, and as I would soon find out, starting to collapse. And I filmed right then and there, medical supplies, literally. So they bombed medical supplies, and this is 14 years ago. Do you know how short they are on these types of things right now? Oh my God. So you can't even treat the wound properly. And then the shock is what I saw in that little girl. Incredible, like shock, like in a zombie state. And all by God's divine
is this trauma that they are enduring is a trauma that some aren't ever going to recover from unless we all serve God in what I believe we must do, which is healing. Boy, oh boy, is there a massive amount of healing that must take place. And I would argue that the only way the healing that is required to really sustain the humanity within us and bring us together as we need to be brought together is justice. Justice. I don't mean vengeance, justice. And this is where the law comes in. Even as flawed, what poses as law, it's the color of law, like mandates. That's not a law. An act of parliament, that's not a law. There is a law here. It's called the Bill of Rights. You have it. Of course, there's a higher law than that, which is God's law. And if your domestic laws counter God's law, then your duty is to violate the so-called laws of the state and honor God first. But we have an absence of God, and we have an ignorance that allows us to be used to submit. And if you submit to anything other than God, and God forbid you submit to the satanic agenda that they put out, how do you think you'll be judged? Regardless of how much you may be liked, or how much money you make, or whatever. I look forward to meeting God. I really do. I don't, I am not afraid of God. I feel love, in fact, from day one. And I know this, there would be more time. I'm not going to get into this whole thing, because, and this is the kind of thing that I love having the conversation with Sheikh about. The reason why I don't fear God is not because I don't, that I think that there is nothing that I've done that isn't going to be punished, and in some ways maybe much more harshly than perhaps I know. I don't know, because I am God. And I ain't going to play God. I will never be so delusional as to think that I'm anything other than a man that God created and gave me a lot of amazing tools. Thank you, God. All praise to Allah for any good I've ever done. But I look forward to meeting God, and I think getting back to your story about the fish and how they disappeared the 6 days a week that you're allowed. And then on the 7th day, you can't, you have to either honor God or you have to honor God and go hungry or not. And I think that's sort of God's sense of humor, but there's a deeper lesson in that. But I think when I get to meet God in the form that God takes, I anticipate, I suppose, that we will have a chuckle, that there will be a laugh. And I look forward to hearing everything that I did wrong and really having an opportunity to grow further, because every day I walk this earth, my intention and my goal is to become better. Every day. To learn, to grow, to be humble. I've got the courage, I've got the strength, I'm taking care of my temple, and I'm so honored that I can sit on this stage and share this space with a man whom I love and respect so dearly. And I think that's probably about as much as I can say, other than my duty to my Palestinian family who I'm in touch with. And I do believe that it was said at the last event, if anybody has any donations or anything for Gaza on this evening, I don't know if anything is set up for that, but you have my word, and I'd love an accounting anyway for this to be counted like what was handed over. This will be sent to Gaza. It's not easy to get money into Gaza. In fact, we're kind of running close to maybe the end, because of the way that you receive money in Gaza has pretty much been all moved to Rafah, where they told everybody to go. But now Rafah is being attacked. People are dying. And what little infrastructure remains is now fast disappearing as well amongst the starving population. So all I can say is whatever is given to me, God will judge. If I were to take even one penny for myself, I know God should punish me horrendously if I took even one penny. Every single bit will go to Gaza/Palestine. And if I can't send it safely, then I would retain it and maybe put it into a pool or give it back to the master, whatever would be the appropriate way to do it, so that it can be used effectively. Because God forbid I make a mistake, I send money there and it doesn't get there. That would hurt too much. I'm not willing to do that. So anything and everything you give tonight, I will do my very best to help use that to save at least some lives. And on a personal note, I have a family over there. I don't even really have to say their names because I know they can track people over there. Even me being in contact with them puts them in danger. But I have a family there, and while they love Gaza and Palestine, and they don't really want to leave, I know they've been through such utter hell that they need some healing, and I want to get them out. I want to embrace them again. I want to help them heal, and I want to get the best English education for them so they can learn the language that's most useful and powerful right now to tell their story, to tell their truth. So I can tell you right now, some of the money will be used for that, but not for my own. I want to share it and spread it. And this family that I'm sending money to, they are sharing it and spreading it with not the family, but all of the people around. So it is that desperate. And God bless all of you for coming. Quality, not quantity. And while it would be nice to have an absolutely packed standing room only, I have always applied. I have spoken to an audience of one, I remember. And I had to laugh. This is where humility comes in. Be humble. All right? Quality, not quantity. So, thank you for being the quality that makes such an event potentially powerful and in service to God. Thank you very, very much.
5 minutes? 20 minutes. Oh, good time. Good timing, yes. We also want to make a collection for Gaza, but we want to do it in such a way that those who do not have anything to give will not feel embarrassed. Okay? So, Muhammad, I mean, you tell me how we should do the collection. Maybe at the back, you could put something for people to put something inside. I think maybe Imran? Okay. We'll tell you how you could make your donation. And we have someone who donated something called karak chai. It's very tasty. It's in the back. And we don't have to pay for that, but you can make a donation. Okay? We have a little time now for question and answers or any comments that you'd like to make. The Israeli offensive on Rafah is now taking place as we speak. The United States is warning Israel, don't do it. Britain is warning Israel, don't do it. The European Union is warning Israel, don't do it. And Israel is disregarding everybody. This is the profile of a state which wants to give us Pax Judaica. A Pax Judaica which will replace Pax Americana. I said this in my book, Jerusalem in the Quran, 20-something years ago. So there is some substance in what is in the Quran that could allow me to give this analysis. So what we're seeing now is the profile of a state that is disregarding all opinion. We don't care 2 peanuts for the world. We're going to do what we want to do. And yes, Ken, these are a barbarian people. Barbarian. But the good news is that in the very heart of the West, the young ones are showing that they have human hearts. In all the universities of the United States, the heart of the modern Western world young people are protesting and defying the centers of power in the United States, protesting in favor of Palestine and the Palestinians and against Israel. This is good news, that it is those who control power in modern Western civilization. They are talking about it. So now we have a little time for question and answer. We start with the sisters. None from Tunisia?
I had a question before the answer.
Oh, you already answered.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Nobody else, okay. All right, brothers? Yes. Muhammad Amin.
I don't think this so-called, especially technically, I don't think this so-called U.S. wants Israel to stop. The UK wants Israel to stop, and so on and so on and so forth. It makes no difference because it's just lip service. Because in the dead of night, they still sell weapons or they'll make weapons there. If they really wanted these Zionists to stop, then they would stop them.
Talk is cheap.
Absolutely.
Actions speak louder than words. I agree, it's all a show. It's all a show. But this is, okay, I didn't expand really on what the Sheikh just said here. I started with the beauty of this horrendous reality we witness. For those of us who have been in any way aware, truly aware of what's happening in Palestine, and have been witnessing, much less living there, and seeing it firsthand, it's been very painful, extremely painful, because these atrocities have been managed atrocities. Generally, the Israelis keep it to single digits a day, which doesn't really register for the rest of humanity. It registers for the people on the ground, but if you keep the numbers under 10 into single digits, it's no problem, really, especially when you've got a complicit media. You get into double digits, that can get a little more problematic. You get into triple digits, that's starting. But now we're not even into quadruple digits. We're quintuplet now. We're getting way up there. But it's because we've had all these, quote, low-level atrocities, this collateral damage, for so long that we now reach the point where there is literally an orgy of violence, like literally a celebration of violence for them. And what it's exposing, literally, especially in America. Did you see how America threatened the ICC? Literally, this is like your garden variety mafia don, like, if you know what's good for you. I made him a deal he couldn't refuse. It's literally like this. It's open and brazen, like, you will not be employing any actual law. The color of law is the only thing that we authorize, and if you even think to institute real law, we will basically kill you and your family. This is the level of audacity, chutzpah, as the tribe would call it. It is on open display, and this is creating a situation that is fascinating for me. Now, the media has been able to go along with this charade for so long, and the politicians, I know who they work for, so of course Israel has a right to defend itself. Do you condemn Hamas? Actually, invite me on, Piers. No, I actually respect them. I would be doing what they are doing. Now, if any one of them has done rape, they will be judged by God. And do I support or endorse that? If it be true, well, they will be judged. And this is wrong, and it defames Islam. But did they do that really? Where's the evidence? I need the evidence. Why would I believe the Jewish state of Israel? Why would anybody with a functioning brain believe them? Why did anybody believe them 5 years ago? 10? Oh my God. But now it is so grotesque that it's creating this tap dance. It's really fun for me to watch the politicians and the pundits do this tap dance. They're tap dancing around these lies with the shadow justice minister, remember? Who was asked point blank, is it illegal to cut off water
Are you going to be the top legal mind if your party comes into power? And did you literally not just answer this question straight? I'm sorry. I know I don't have the scholarship or the degree in law, but I've studied enough to know. Yeah, that would be a violation of many laws, including the Geneva Convention and a various number of treaties that we're all signatories to in a civilized, actually barbaric West. And this tap dance that's occurring now is putting these politicians. Now, how many of these politicians and pundits were on what we know is called the Lolita Express, the Epstein-esque Mossad operation that is compromised? Unknown, but I know it's much bigger. These are the things that you need to entertain. You need to entertain the guy that you're watching, the Camerons or the Blairs and the Bushes and all of them, that they indeed have been involved in the raping of children, and it's on videotape courtesy of Mossad. I've said it before, I say it again. If I was a psychopath, see, I've gotten into that mind. If I was a psychopath and I was in power and I cared not about humanity or none of that, I just want power, brazen power, unlimited power. I would not let anybody into my club unless I had them on videotape raping a child or sticking the dagger in the sacrificial baby. I wouldn't. Makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, you know, isn't this crazy to you? This is the way the world is functioning. Otherwise, how could they all be so lockstep in line with each other? Like, you're expecting me to believe it's one of two things. Either you are blindly stupid and rewarded with your stupidity with an important position of public trust, or you're bought and paid for. You're controlled. Somehow, some way, you know that the risk of telling the truth is worse than carrying out this lie and destroying whatever integrity is attached to your name. This is what we're seeing, and you know why? Because of the sacrifice. This magnificent, unprecedented, modern-day sacrifice of the descendants of Jesus of Nazareth. Once again, the Palestinians teaching the world what it is to be a human being. That is the beauty. God bless my Palestinian family. God bless them. I will die for them, happily. I will never back down. And for all you warriors, or burgeoning warriors, you true soldiers of God, find your place. If you're a warrior, I'm already ready. I'll march with that army. Please, let's get that army. I'll march with that. I've done my flotillas. Let's do that. We can make that. We can accelerate that. Just as a curiosity, how many of you are of Pakistani origin? So a pretty decent amount, yeah. Okay, well, let's make that army happen.
We have another session tomorrow, inshallah, at the same time, 7 o'clock. And we hope Ilford will come in time, so we can start in time. Tomorrow's session is on anti-Semitism and freedom of speech. I will make some introductory comments from the Quran and then hand over the session to Ken. But I hope we'll get some time at the end for me to offer an explanatory comment on the similarity between the Soviet Union and Pakistan, the Pakistan of Muhammad Ali Jinnah, in order to bring some clarity of thought to the role of the Soviet Union